I was corrected last when I did my
Yeah, I noticed she made sure to emphasize.
lectern when I said it.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kris Hoeksema. I'm a mental health provider, and my primary job, you might have picked up, is at the Central Lake Schools. So I work through the health department, so I'm a health department employee, and but work in the schools through school-based health, and so we serve K through 12 there, and all of our services that I offer are no charge, so it's a cool way to get mental health services to kids without having to pull them out of school for hours to drive. Hours to get somewhere, and it also helps the pocketbook for parents. Even if they don't have insurance, we still see them. If they do have insurance, we do bill insurance to help kind of recoup a little bit of our costs, but we have tons of different grants, line item budget stuff for Michigan, and we have grown. When I hired in 7 years ago, I was the 5th therapist, and now we have, I don't even know, like close to 30 in like the Tri-County area of mental health providers in our schools. So that's my main job. And then I also have a private practice, which is located here, where I work with adults. And so I do that on the side. And my third little job that I wasn't seeking is I am also a home health social worker for Advisa-Care. And so I service like Antrim County, Charlotte County, I guess that's Seago County, depending on where I go. So I'm a social worker by trade and licensed as a clinical social worker to provide therapy as well. And so that's why I'm here today, is to talk about stress management. I'm guessing that you went to Dr. Kathy's stress talk. Yes, okay, good. I was kind of counting on it because I'm not going to go into all the
Twice now.
what is good. Yeah, I went to one and I'm like, ooh, this is good stuff. We're not going to review necessarily everything about. Oh dear. Welcome.
Hi, Kris.
Hi, how are you? So we're just starting to talk about stress management. And with stress, I guess the one thing that, and I don't remember because it's been probably a year since I've been to Dr. Kathy's talk, is does she talk about good stress and like healthy stress and unhealthy stress at all?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so anybody want to gander what I mean by that? How can stress be
Maybe like excitement.
healthy and good?
I mean, I guess there's some events that are stressful but good, like a wedding or like, is that kind of what you mean? Like,
Well, that's a little bit different. So our level of stress, like how long it lasts, is really important. Like you can be up here and then it needs to re-regulate and you need to be down at your baseline. And so like those events that are really happy and fun, but people can actually get really stressed out with like a wedding and then they are a nervous wreck and you have like bridezillas and the whole thing. What I was kind of like thinking about more is little stress, like I better get out of bed today and go to my job. You know, like those things that motivate us, but it's still stress. You know, I've got to go to the gas station and fill out my car. You know, can you guys think of other like little stressors that kind of urge you along to maybe make a change? Because stress is something that stretches, right? And if you stretch a little bit, sometimes you can grow. If you stretch too much for too long, then there's no resiliency. So stress isn't necessarily a bad thing. It can actually help us grow. You know, going through a master's program was stressful. Thankfully, it didn't last forever, but definitely, classes that, cause you to stretch yourself, stretch yourself, and grow a little bit. So we're not going to talk about that kind of stress tonight. We're talking about that chronic stress that you are just like either consistently way up here all the time because maybe you live in a tense household, or maybe your work environment is really stressful, or your job is really stressful, and so your level of stress is like here, like 10, 12 hours a day. What other kinds of things can you guys think of that would be like stressful like that people might be living with daily?
Having a social job and then going home and having a roommate that maybe doesn't give you wind down time.
Oh, yeah. And you hit on something that I'm going to jump ahead a little bit in what I was going to say, because you just gave a great intro for it. The way that we perceive things changes if it's stressful or not for us, right? There can be something that's very stressful for you that's totally not stressful for you. And so the way that we experience stuff is through our lens and our internal nervous system too, right? Like things that you were maybe brought up with. Love Henry. If somebody grew up with a dog that was mean, that barked and nipped all the time, they might feel stressed. For them, they might live in higher stress if they live near dogs or a dog park, where someone else might be like, this is so relaxing, I love this. So, good point. So with stress management, there are a lot of different things that people do to try to manage stress. Some are healthy, some are unhealthy. Some of the unhealthy ones tend to be unhealthy if they're in excess. Yeah, like eating, I heard. What other ones might
Drinking,
be unhealthy?
smoking, all the bad stuff.
Yeah, drinking, smoking. Sometimes retail therapy
Yeah.
is unhealthy, right?
All of a
For
sudden
the
my pocketbook
finances.
is bigger.
Yeah. Yeah. Even sleeping, if you're oversleeping, if you're
And
isolating, like you need downtime to refresh, but if you start isolating, then that becomes maybe an unhealthy. And so there's this balance of having, things that you do, and basically it's that life rule, everything in moderation. Not everything, certain things never, but yeah.
when you talk about isolation, where would you draw the line when it comes to having a time of self-reflection? Because I'm very much so someone who I will set myself aside and to self-reflect on stuff, but to what extent does that become like an isolation? Because it can vary depending on the time in which I do it, depending on the severity of the situation.
So if it starts to interfere with your daily life, the things that you need to do in your life, if it gets in the way of relationships, job, personal stuff, then you'd want to take a look and say, maybe this is becoming unhealthy.
Okay.
So, yeah, good question. So, there's some stuff that's like newer, not new, but newer out there, talking about like polyvagal therapy and the polyvagal system. Have you guys ever heard of that or know much about it? Yeah. Okay. So, and I've got a couple notes because there's this guy's name that I can't ever remember. So, polyvagal theory was developed by Dr. Stephen Porges, and he talks about the automatic and autonomic nervous system and the three states. So you've got like the ventral vagal state, that's our safe, calm place state. That's like the baseline, the place where we like to try to let our nervous system return to. That's the calm. That's like our what they call our window of tolerance. That's our ability we can live here, we can tolerate stuff, we don't get stressed, we're not too excited, not too sad, not too happy. And so that's the first, and that's kind of our safety state. And then there's the sympathetic state, and that's like our danger state. That's the fight or the flight. And you know, that
What was that?
response to stress and or danger. And then there's the dorsal vagal state, and that is that kind of crisis state. That's our shutdown state. That's the preservation state. That's, you know, we're covering our head, we are frozen, we are hiding, we're shutting down. And so what this doctor talked about was neuroception, and how our nervous system can interpret all the stuff that's going on around us to help our brain just go there without us making a conscious decision. And so, like, trying to figure out how to deal with our body when something happens so quickly that we don't really have much conscious awareness that we're responding. So, like, triggers. And I think that word is overused, but there is, you know, it makes sense if you say, like, your nervous system.
Well, your body's natural instinct.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
like, you know, your brain is the thing that makes everything work. Your brain wants to protect you. And so when that fight, flight, or freeze happens, there are some of the stress management techniques can also help relieve that. So those are more like, you know, emotion regulation, kind of those crisis regulation things. And those are involved with, you know, changing how we breathe. That might be splashing ice cold water on your face. We had a student once who was in a panic attack, and it's northern Michigan in winter, so we went outside, stuck our hands in the snow. And so something that kind of just like shocks the nervous system to kind of come back down. Deep breathing is a great one, and we're going to practice a couple of these techniques in a little bit. But deep breathing is a way that just really, it activates the body, and it's sending messages when you're taking those deep belly breaths that you're safe. If you're able to take a nice, deep, slow breath, and you're not gasping for your next breath, your body and your brain, they're like, okay, so we're not in super danger, because if we were in super danger, you would be needing to breathe really, really fast right now. And I always tell people, like, if you don't have your breath, then you've got bigger things to worry about than your test or making it somewhere on time. Like, something else is going on if you can't catch your breath. And so we'll talk about deep breathing. There's so vocalizations, this is something I find just fascinating, is humming and singing. Because if you are humming or singing, it takes all of this activity in your brain to do those. And it is sending signals with the vibrations that helps to just relax your nervous system. And it also is occupying your mind and your thoughts. And so some of the thoughts then are being distracted against. And so when people are singing or humming, we might think it's annoying, but they might be self-soothing. And so just another little trick that you can do. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit before we get into everything. So what kinds of things do you guys practice already that you would consider like a healthy or a helpful coping skill or practice for managing stress?
Well, like I already said, I am a big self-reflector, or I tend to I whistle a lot
Okay,
when I'm at work
awesome.
or going through it. So.
Yeah, whistle while you work. Awesome. Anybody else?
For running, like
Yes.
exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Running is a great one.
Mhm.
You get that rhythm, get that rhythmic breathing going on.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. And fresh air.
Yeah.
Usually, I mean, you could be running inside too, but.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just realizing that I really don't have any. Coffee.
Remember my prop that I forgot to bring? No. Our friend.
Oh, Henry?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're probably right. Like, when I get a little over, I was like, my coffee? The ball?
Your coffee could be as well, yeah, but caffeine might
Yeah.
increase stress.
Yeah, Henry, for sure. I'll go pet him
Yeah.
and get a little break, get some
Oh, yeah.
endorphins going.
Well, then
Dogs.
you always talk about having an earbud in all the time, so you're listening to podcasts or listening to music, which is then helping distract your brain from those things.
Mhm.
Yes, my little escape.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, music is great. Either listening, playing, singing, whistling. Yeah, dogs, cats. Dogs tend to be a little bit more nurturing than cats for the most part. But some cats can be very, very friendly, and they've done some studies where they show that if you are with a dog and you know, like living in the home with you, and you're like petting the dog and hanging out with the dog, that your breathing and your heartbeat will start to mimic each other. And so there's a lot to be said about like dogs helping with medical stuff, because they can really be attuned to people, and especially like if you're stressed, like they know. So they do make really great therapy animals. So I'm going to just mention a few different techniques. Some of them are just basic self-care that I think everybody probably knows, especially if you're willing to come into a chiropractor, that you already know you need to take care of your body. So obviously getting good sleep is so important, and they're really connecting. It's not just the quantity of sleep that you're getting, but the quality of sleep. If you say I sleep for 12 hours and I'm still super tired, but I'm up every hour and I'm tossing and turning and I don't feel rested, then that's not good quality sleep. If you get 7 hours of good quality sleep, you're probably better off than the person getting 12 hours of interrupted, sleep that is just almost disruptive. And so healthy sleep, obviously. We talked about physical activity, just moving your body. The body in motion stays in motion. A body at rest stays at rest. And so doing something to change your environment sometimes, even. Some people might not be able to go out running, but something that they can do is get up and do the dishes. And there's actually studies out there that say like the hands and the water and the soap and the bubbles and the smell and the action, and seeing a result for your actions that is like a positive result is very helpful for people with relieving stress, with kind of even just helping boost your mood. So that's another thing. Just lifestyle choices. We talked about some of the unhealthy things. You definitely want to make sure that you have some balance, that you're putting good things into your body. The more good things you put in, the better stuff that you're going to be able to have come out of you and in your mind as well. So the things that you expose yourself to through all of your senses, not just your mouth, but what we're seeing, what we're listening to, those things really impact us. We were talking about social media and how that can be so stressful. And so even just unplugging from, the digital world for a while can be very relaxing. And, you know, I see a lot of people who take, you know, breaks from online platforms, and that's their way of self-care. So another thing is social support. Having somewhere that you know that you belong, that you have people, you've got a group, you've got somebody that you can go to, whether it's these talks that kind of become like a little family, or if it's, you know, you're talking like your daughter on the cruise and she met her people and she had a great time, and you know, so I'm guessing that her stress level was way less than maybe another kid her age who didn't really feel like she had any friends to go hang out with.
Sure.
No matter what anyone says, we want to belong somewhere. You know, we're created for relationships, and so allowing yourself to have some good, healthy relationships is really helpful as well. Let's see, I'm trying to skip over the ones that we're going to practice here. So having time to yourself, like you were saying, like you called it your reflection time. And so some people might have personal reflection time where they're just by themselves and just kind of thinking and thoughtful. Some people might practice like meditation. Some people might pray. And those are things that are very helpful. And again, there's a lot of, I don't know where all these people get this money for doing all these cool studies, but there's a lot of research studies out there on like mindfulness and prayer and how it changes and alters in a positive way, like things in the body and the brain, and longevity and life satisfaction. And so it's certainly not something just to, you know, it's like, oh, whatever, that doesn't matter. So what you do in your private time can be very, very helpful and very beneficial. The long-term approaches, so we'll talk about deep breathing, we're gonna talk about progressive muscle relaxation, and we're gonna talk about mindfulness a little bit more in a couple minutes. And what I'd like to do, if you guys are willing, is I'll kind of coach you through like how to do some deep breathing. We'll start with that, and then we'll do, see, I just caught myself. We will do progressive muscle relaxation while we're doing some deep breathing. We'll practice some mindfulness. I have a cool little thing I've kept hidden from you that I'm going to share. I have my little sand tray. I was just going to let you guys pass around because having tactile things can be very, very helpful, and I didn't want to bring a bag of toys with me. But even having like sand, we live near so many amazing beaches. Oh yeah, that you don't have to have a little sand tray, but you can put one in your office and just run your fingers through it. You can go to the beach, stick your feet in the sand, stick your feet in the water. That one, the original tray came with an extra tray that you could put soil in, and I could grow like little grass and stuff when I had a window office. And it's just, they make different ones. So they make some for people that like trucks, and they have little bulldozers, and they make one about cats, and you have like, it's like a kitty litter tray. So they can be funny, they can be relaxing, they can call them a Zen garden, but allowing your body just to experience something tactile, using a stress ball that you're squeezing. Oh, he's gonna play with it now.
Yeah, obviously.
Awesome. Like I was saying, I make Play-Doh with students because that's very tactile as well, squishy, and you can actually just see the stress coming out as you are just mushing. And that's why slime is so popular with kids. You know, it gives that that ability to just manipulate something and to hold something. And I like the ones that have sense or some little things to do. They make them where you can pick things out, pay attention, and so then their focus is shifted.
Is thinking putty's still a thing?
Oh yeah.
Because for the longest time we'd go somewhere and my kids would be
Mhm.
like, oh, I don't have that one.
Oh
There's
yeah.
17 cans of it. What's
Oh.
different about that one?
They're all special.
Yeah, they are all
Yes.
different.
Yeah.
It's called thinking putty.
Thinking putty. Oh yeah.
I'm not heard of it.
It is.
They have
Oh,
different smells,
Aaron's
yep.
thinking putty. Yes.
I don't know that they sell them on cruise ships. Dad.
Imagine.
That's all right. Might have
Yeah.
to diversify a little bit.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, I have one that changes color if your hands are warm enough and you manipulate it
So like
enough.
a mood ring
Yes.
type.
Yeah.
putty, yeah, that's
And
interesting.
my hands are always so cold, I can never make it change.
I know Nickelodeon, like in the 90s, had Yak, which was like green, and you could stretch it out, and you could make like
Oh.
noises and stuff with it.
Yes.
And yeah, they
Yeah.
had a bunch of stuff. Green slime stuff that
Yeah.
Nickelodeon always had. I'm sure you can like make that stuff, or
Oh, yeah.
you know, get it still or whatever. You know.
So we're talking about one of the other things for stress management is unique for everybody.
Yeah.
Finding an activity that you enjoy, something that you love to do, and just allowing yourself time to do it. You know, maybe building it into your day if you're so busy that you don't have time. Building it into your week if you don't have time every day. But just allowing yourself to have those moments of self-care, because, you know, whatever it might be, if it's reading, if it's, I want to spend 10 more minutes in prayer, I want to spend another day going out for a walk instead of a run, I want to take my dog out, I want to sit with my kids and snuggle and watch a movie, you know, whatever it is, allowing yourself to do something that you truly enjoy and doing it mindfully. So we'll talk about mindfulness here for a minute. So mindfulness is not being a klutz, right?
Yeah, I was
we were
just
talking
thinking
about
that, Kris.
being, you know, sometimes if you're busy and running 1,000 directions at the same time, that's when accidents happen, that's when you make mistakes, that's when you miss things. Mindfulness is basically like paying attention on purpose to what's going on without judging it, without trying to change the outcome, without getting caught up in the story, just really observing what is going on right now, inside of me, outside of me. And it can be as simple as, like, I was trimming my snowball bush, and I was trying to be very mindful of trimming the snowball bush. So I really noticed the wind, the smells, what I could hear, what I could see, the touch of the branches. And when I was doing that, the whole experience became much more enjoyable than just going out and doing a chore that I was going to grumble about. So practicing mindfulness is a way to let your mind just rest in the present moment. We're not caught up in the past with regrets, hurts, whatever. We're not caught up worrying about the future, what's going to happen. We're just like right here, right now, this is what's happening. Right now, feel myself sitting on this bench. I can feel my feet in my shoes. I can push my feet into the floor. I can feel my socks and my toes. I can feel this with my fingers.
Mhm.
I can hear the sound. I can hear a whir if it's very quiet. I can hear my breath. I can feel my heart beating. And I just slowed everything down. And when you practice mindfulness, it can be something that you do just like that. It might be that you're intentionally listening or focusing on one thing. It could be that you are mindfully running. noticing everything that's going into the running. It could be that you are, mindfully playing with the dog, and you really feel the fur. And or drinking your coffee. That's a great one. Like, I'm really going to pay attention to the act of drinking coffee. I'm not just going to drink it because I'm tired and I'm not going to taste it. I'm going to enjoy the whole experience because I'm going to hear the clink of my cup as I take it out of the cupboard. I'm going to, if it's the microwave or the tea kettle, I'm going to listen as the water's heating up, or if it's perking or whatever you do with it. I'm going to, when I pour it into my cup, that sound of coffee pouring into a cup and the steam that comes up, right? And bringing it up to your nose, and you can smell it, and it's hot, and that first sip, and tasting it. Really tasting your food. Ooh, something's going on. But allowing yourself to really experience it and just give yourself those moments. I'm not just going to drink my coffee, I'm going to drink in my coffee. So mindfulness today, we are going to do mindfulness of sound. So I'm going to invite you, I have this thing, it's so cool. It's called a tone drum. And I don't play magical, wonderful things on it, but I love the tone of it. And so I'll play it just a couple different things so you can hear it. So it's got kind of a soothing sound. So what I want to do is I'm just going to slowly just hit some different notes. And I'm just going to invite you to notice what you hear. Notice how it affects you. And we didn't get into this part, but when you have thoughts that come into your mind, notice the thought. It might be, oh, I remembered I need cereal, right? Nothing to do with this. That's okay. Notice the thought and then bring yourself back to hear the next note. And so mindfulness sometimes is just training your brain to, when you're off, to bring it back. So that's the stretching that's going to help to build your capacity for resilience and your ability just to be able to kind of bounce back from things. So the more that you are able to notice a distraction and then bring yourself back to the present moment, that's building that ability to just really be resilient, to bounce back, to come back from things. And it allows your brain to start building these neural pathways that are like, oh, no, you can focus right here and you can just notice what's going on.
Can I say something,
Yeah.
Kris? I am loving this because last week we did our sound healing 101, and she talked about how in a sound bath they'll obviously play like harmonic notes, but while they're playing that, they'll play a dissonant note, so as to introduce to your nervous system that yes, you might be on an even keel and then something will happen, but you'll come back.
Yes.
Like to teach your body to manage the stress better.
Yes.
So this is so cool. I
That
just
is
love that it's
awesome.
building off of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
that's what
totally
I was thinking.
intended for that to happen.
I'm nerding out right now. I love it.
Yes. Oh my, I totally missed that one, but that would have been a good one. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, it
I
could've
can
been
send
better
you the
placed on
video,
that one.
Kris.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. So I will, for mindfulness, it can be distracting if you're looking around. And so if you feel comfortable, you can let your eyes gently shut. If you're not, that's okay. Just find something just a little bit ahead of you. If it's looking at your toes, looking at something right in front of you, just to let your gaze kind of soften. And just notice what you hear. pause for a moment. Maybe take just notice of any experiences that you had, either what you noticed in your body, what you noticed with your thoughts. You don't have to share. You're very welcome to if you want to, but I just want to give you a moment just to kind of see how that impacted you. If that's something that you were like really able to do that well and it was super easy for you, or if it was like, wow, that was really hard just to listen to that music, and my mind wanted to go a million different directions. And there's no right or wrong. Like, it's not a you did it wrong if that happened. That's just the way your brain wanted to be. But the fact that you were aware is mindful in and of itself. So that is one practice that there's a lot of evidence that is showing people who are practicing like even 10 minutes a day of mindfulness can significantly change the way that their body is able to manage stressors and kind of bringing your body back down to that window of tolerance that we talked about. So, and it can be very, very simple. You don't have to do it in a quiet place. You can be mindful of a lot of different things that you see, that you feel. You can be mindful of slime. You can be mindful of a beautiful sunset. That's a fun one. You can listen. You know, going to the beach is a great place to practice mindfulness because you've got all of, well, except maybe the taste, unless you have something delicious with you. But using, you know, your sight. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are you feeling? You know, and, you know, hearing the water. And so all those things, if you allow yourself to be fully present, it just can really just help you to feel really rejuvenated and relaxed. So now we're going to move on to deep breathing. And so how I really, I like to do this if I have a bunch of yoga mats, I would say like lie down, because if you're allowing your body to really like stretch out, let your abdomen really be able to rise and fall, that's the best way to feel that full effect. But we can definitely do it seated, and I often do it seated with students. But instead of saying like, we're gonna sit and relax, you know, I say that to kids, and what do? Right? Now, what did you just do to your ability to take a deep breath? Right? So I will invite you to take a posture of attention. And so that means you're just gonna sit up, you're gonna have like that good posture that you guys here probably like to focus on too, you know, like the shoulders up and back. And I tell my students, like, just imagine that you're kind of like a puppet, and there's like a string that's just coming out of the top of your head, and it's just holding you up. It's not stretching you or pulling you to where it's not comfortable, but it's just holding you so that you are just really upright, and just, you're not going to be slouching. You're going to keep your body at attention. Because when you're deep breathing on purpose, we're doing this mindfully again. And so you're going to want to be, we're going to first notice your breath and just how you're breathing. So I just want you to take stock in first, how are you breathing? Are you a mouth breather or are you a nose breather? And I'm not going to tell you that you have to breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, or anything like that. Some people do. Sometimes that causes people stress. And so I want you to find the way that feeling, that breathing deep feels good for you. So just notice how you're breathing, and notice if you can feel the air coming into your body and leaving your body. Do you notice it in the back of your throat, in your upper chest, in your lungs, your stomach? So where do you feel your breath when you take a breath? And just noticing that, I'm going to just invite you on your own rhythm we're just going to try to take like 3 to 5 deep breaths where we're going to try to fill our belly with air. And try to fill that like from the bottom up. So we're going to try to take a nice deep breath in, into your belly, and then you can fill that your chest with the rest of it. And then as you breathe out, just kind of let it compress out from the chest, out through the belly, and then just back and breathing in, almost like you're filling a balloon that's in your tummy. And breathing out, you might feel your whole body rising as you take a deep breath in and sinking a little as you're breathing out. Just feeling the rhythm of your breath, allowing that breathing to just be slowed slightly, feeling your body just taking in air and blowing out air. That's all that you have to do. And from here, we're going to move on to progressive muscle relaxation. So this you can do with or without deep breathing, but I'm going to encourage you to just keep taking those nice deep breaths. And what we're going to do is I'm going to talk you through just some different areas of your body that as you breathe in, I'm going to say like breathe in and like make a fist and hold it. And then we're going to hold that in breath for a moment. And then we're just going to breathe out as slowly or slower than you breathed in. So when we are exhaling, that slow exhale is very important to help with reducing tension in the body. And it's, they kind of call it like the dive reflex a little bit when you're exhaling really, really slow. And it is something that does help your body just to relax a little more. So if you're trying to deep breathe and you're really focused on, I'm going to deep breathe and I'm going to do it. Ugh, I already feel tense, right? That doesn't relax you, but allowing your body, take in the air, pause, and breathe out. And when we're tensing a body part and you're breathing in, then when you breathe out, you're going to just relax it and let that body part just really relax. And I'll kind of walk you through some of that. So again, with your gaze either softened or you can let your eyes close wherever you're comfortable. Try to keep that posture so you can get some nice breaths. And just as you're breathing, first we'll start with our hands. So just notice your hands. And on your next breath in, I just want you to make fists with both your hands as you breathe in. Tight, 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 as tight as you can with your fists, like you're balled up. And then hold it and then breathe out slowly and just let your hands relax and open and fall. And we're going to do that one more time. So just again, at your own pace, you can just practice breathing in. And tight, tight, tight with those fists. And then when you're ready to breathe out, nice and slow, and just relax those hands. Let your hands just fall. And then let's bring our attention to our feet. I just want you to curl your toes up in your shoes as you breathe in and just hold those really tight, like you put your feet in cold water, the beach, and you just want to recoil a little, but you want to stay in that water as you breathe in. And then as you breathe out, just relax those toes, just feel them settle back into your shoes. And then breathing in and tightening those feet. And then breathing out and relaxing your toes and letting them uncurl. Now let's pay attention to your left thigh. And we're going to purposefully just try to tense the muscles in your left thigh. So as you breathe in, just really focus on tightening those muscles in that upper leg. And breathing out and relaxing. And then let's switch to the other leg. Do your right leg and tense those muscles in your upper leg as you breathe in. Tight, tight, tight. And then as you breathe out, relax it. And then let's try both your legs together and just try to tense all those muscles in your thigh and in your buttocks, and just really tight, tight, tight. As you're sitting in your chair, you can feel yourself moving a little. And as you relax, just feel yourself sinking into your seat. Let's do one more breath with that. Just allowing your body to relax on the out breath. Now let's notice our stomach and our torso. Just as you breathe in, you can feel that tension, like you're trying to brace for somebody who wants to punch you in the stomach. You want to have a nice tight stomach. And then as you breathe out, just letting that relax and fall a little. And one more breath like that, just tightening up your stomach. And breathing out and relaxing. And let's move to our shoulders. This time, just as you tighten those shoulders, you're going to bring them up, like up to your ears even, just like letting them just raise with that in-breath. And then breathing out and letting them just fall back down. And just noticing your body softening with that out breath. And again, let's take a breath in and just raise those shoulders up with that in breath. And breathing out and softening and just letting your body relax. Now this one will be our last couple breaths with this exercise, and I just want you to try to do a whole body. So try to notice all the muscles you can in your body. Just as you breathe in, just try to tighten from your toes all the way up through your head. So tightening everything, making the fist, tightening your toes, making a face, ooh, like you had something sour. As you breathe in and tight, tight, tight your whole body, and then relax as you breathe out. And just let your whole body melt and soften. And do one more where you breathe in and just tense every part of your body that you can tense. Feel your body stiffen and become straight as you breathe in, and hold it for a moment. And then as you breathe out, just feeling that breath leave and the tension leave and your body softening. And now before we finish, I just want you to take a little notice of your body, and if there's anything in your body right now that feels tense, I just want you to notice it and take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, just see if you can soften that area of your body just a little bit. Just allow it to relax. If it's your neck, your shoulders, your stomach, your hands, what part of your body still might feel tense? And just allow it to soften just a little bit more with that breath out. And when you're ready, just want you to notice how that practice affected you. If it was something that felt good, that you feel relaxed, if it's something that was maybe difficult for you, or sometimes when we really relax and allow tension to leave our body, it can cause some reactions, like emotionally. Sometimes it releases things that just really were like, wow, I didn't know I was holding that, and it just kind of comes out, either in sighs, sometimes in tears, sometimes in thoughts that are coming into our heads, and that's okay. That's our body like processing stuff. And again, you don't have to share about your experience, but just allow yourself to just notice for a moment, how was that for me? And so then the last thing I want to do with you is we're going to practice what we call guided visualization. And so that is something you can do on your own, and then it's just visualization. But today it'll be guided, which means I'm going to lead you through, I thought we'd go for a walk in our minds. And I always like to let the people choose if we're walking on the beach, walking in the woods. So vote for the beach. Raise your hand. Got 3? Okay, I don't even think we're gonna go for the other one. So I want you for this visualization, again, just to have a posture of attention, to allow yourself to be taking those deep breaths as it feels good for you, and just take stock and notice in what your body is doing. And if you notice tension, just allow it to soften as you're breathing in and out. So as you allow your gaze to soften or just let your eyes gently shut, we are going to Rex Beach. Anybody know Rex Beach?
Yes, I saw the most beautiful sunset there one time.
Yay, we're going to revisit it. So visualization is just allowing yourself to go somewhere in your mind and to allow all of your senses that you can engage to be there. So even though you're not there, most of us have been to a beach, and so I want you to draw up from those memories, those images, those experiences. And so as you're walking out to the beach, I want you first to notice, do you have sandals on, shoes on, bare feet? Are you willing to allow your feet to touch the sand? Can you feel the sand under your feet or on your hands? Is it cool? Is it hot? Is it dry? Does it brush off easily, or is it a little bit moist? What do you hear? Do you hear the wind? Is there a soft breeze? Do you hear birds? Can you hear the water? Are there waves? Can you see them just washing up on the shore? Does your breath match the rhythm of the waves coming in and out? As you walk across the beach, notice how it feels to have the sand shifting under your feet, how it supports you, but yet it gives way, how you use your body to balance differently when you're walking on the sand than you would on pavement or dirt road even. Do you hear the sand crunching under your feet? Do you notice, are there other people there? Do you hear laughter, or people playing or swimming? Do you hear boats? What is your experience for you? As you walk through the sand, you're getting closer to the water, and now the water is sounding louder. And now you can almost feel the moisture in the air. The waves are coming through. And you can see the little rings and the lines in the sand that the waves are leaving as they wash up on the shore and fall back into the lake. And you notice little pebbles. And you can feel the sun. And it feels warm, but not too hot. And the breeze is just right. The temperature is exactly how you like it. And you can feel your skin just soaking up vitamin D. You smile. You feel calm. Your body's relaxed. And as you get closer to the water, you decide to dip your toes in just a little. And you can feel that cool, and it almost shocks your system, the shift from the warm air to the cool water, but it feels refreshing. And you look into the water and you can see different colored stones and rocks. You just breathe in and you can smell that lake air. It smells earthy and fresh. And you breathe it in and you breathe out. And you notice the sun, and it's starting to set just a little. You notice the colors, the oranges, the reds, the yellows. And as you just breathe in and out and notice your body relaxing, that you can almost watch the sun gently setting in the horizon. You feel the temperature slowly just becoming a little bit more cooler. You notice your feet are still in the water. And you move and you can feel the sand shifting under your feet. And you walk on a little bit as you notice the sun setting. And you breathe in and out. And the rhythm of the waves in your breath are united, and your body softens and relaxes. And you enjoy this moment. There's nothing but just to enjoy this moment. Taking care of your body, taking care of your emotions, letting your thoughts just come and go. And as you breathe in, you just notice, is there anything in my body that feels tense? And I'm just going to breathe out and just let that soften. And if everything feels very relaxed, just notice when you breathe in, if your body moves up, and if it moves down and sinks a little as you breathe out. And then just start to bring awareness of yourself back to your feet and your shoes, your body sitting in the chair. Where are your hands? Allowing your neck to move maybe back and forth, just to start to re-alert your body to your surroundings. Take one last big breath in, and a nice deep long breath out. And when you're ready, you can just open your eyes and rejoin us here in the room. So that one is my favorite. Great way to fall asleep. Do this at night if you can't fall asleep, or if you have to sleep in the daytime. And there are tons of resources for things that will give you like guided visualizations. You can find the voice that you like and the words that you like. You can get very specific. I've got a job interview tomorrow. They've got one for that. You can make up your own. If you like to run, you can have a visualization about running. You know, if you're sick or if you're just really stressed somewhere at work and I just need like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So anyway, that was kind of, I was gonna do another thing, but I realized I went over in our time, so I apologize about that. But any comments, any thoughts, questions? Anybody?
I struggle a lot with focusing on things. My brain is very scattered. Depending on who you talk to, it's pretty much been since I had COVID in 2021.
Okay.
And about the only time I can really be laser focused on something is when I read. And I will, like earlier today, I was sitting with lunch and I was reading, and I think I read the same paragraph 3 times because I was reading the words, but I wasn't acknowledging the words. So this is tough for me.
Yeah, it is. The first time I tried to like really focus, it was agonizing, and I was frustrated with myself because I'm like, why can't I do this? And it's not about being able to just say, I am just so focused on this right now. It really is the act of noticing when your attention is gone and just bringing it back to attention. So if you're like, I was reading for 20 minutes, I didn't read 3 paragraphs, but I noticed twice that I wasn't paying attention and I brought my attention back to my reading, that's that practicing of that mindfulness. So it doesn't have to just be, I'm so focused on this and I know exactly what I'm doing and I'm experiencing it, which it is that too, but it's also just the act of like saying, okay, I caught myself and I was way over here and I'm just gonna bring it back and I'm gonna bring my mind back to what am I doing right now? You know, and doing an activity that can be a mindless activity can actually be a great way to practice it, like washing your hair in the shower or brushing your teeth, because how often do we zone out when we're doing those things? So just trying to say like, okay, I'm brushing my teeth, oh wait, I'm brushing my teeth, yeah. So that can be a great way to practice it, little tiny pieces of just bringing your attention back. And that's where it gets stronger. And so that's actually okay, like pay attention with reading and be like, oh, where am I? What am I doing? And finding activities that you enjoy too can be another, you know, petting a dog. Just practice mindfulness while you're petting the dog. Because you're already calm, your body might be more apt to let you practice that a little bit. So, but yeah, it's not easy, but it does get a little bit easier. I'm somebody whose brain is always going, and it's never been easy for me. My brain likes to go everywhere. But allowing myself to be in that moment helps me to really be more present for other people too. And so obviously, like as a therapist, it's really important for me to be mindful when I'm working with someone. And so that's something too, if you have people in your life that you want to practice this with, you can support each other. And like if you know like the look, like, oh, I don't think you're here with me right now. And then they can help support you as well. And you can, again, if you want it to be reciprocal and you want to be loving and kind and gentle, which is another part of mindfulness we didn't get into, but there's this loving kindness to it. We don't want to be judging or unkind.
Right, like what you're saying, I'll do the same thing. I'll be reading and then my brain will just go somewhere and then all of a sudden I'll be like, oh, where was I? I just read this whole page and I have no idea what it said.
Yes.
But I have a tendency to like talk down to myself about it.
Yes.
So like
Yeah.
even just, I suppose maybe changing that, like for myself, even just
Mhm.
changing the way that I respond to myself.
Yeah.
Like be nice to myself.
Yeah, or you could say, oh, I just realized I wasn't paying attention. I'm practicing mindfulness right now.
Yeah.
Like, that's okay. Now you've changed your perspective.
I like that.
Yeah. Any other thoughts or comments?
I need therapy.
I
Keep
think
yourself
everybody, everybody can benefit for sure. Yeah. There are, I do have handouts. So this is just like a stress reduction technique cheat sheet. It talks about some of the things that we did and some of the things that we didn't do.
I'm gonna pass.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah. So it's got some other things on here, journaling, which we didn't really talk about, but that's wonderful, just the act of, and I would really encourage like hand in, on pen, in paper journaling, not like online. Getting your thoughts out when you're doing it electronically, it happens and it processes different in our brain than if we are actually writing.
Because the head with the heart and the hand, it's an actual like meditative practice.
Yeah, and it's very helpful. And just free journaling or having prompted journals, whatever it is that works for you. But it helps with reflection if you do some self-reflection. And cognitive restructuring, we didn't really talk about this one. That's something that I do that gets more into like more therapeutic sometimes, but that is just like challenging unhelpful thoughts. It's like you're putting your thoughts on trial. Is this really real? Is this really true? Is this really going to matter? 5 years, 10 years, 5 minutes, and shifting your perspective, noticing, we call them like your unhelpful thinking patterns. Some people, we call them thinking traps or ants, automatic negative thoughts, that once you notice them and you know like, oh, I'm one of those people that like makes a mountain out of a molehill, or I'm somebody who's always negative, or I'm somebody who discounts everything good that ever happens to me. Once you notice that and you know that about yourself, then you can start to shift how you look at things. And so I think the other ones we all talked about. Time management, we didn't talk about that, but basically, you know, just allowing yourself to have some structure and controlling the areas in your life that you can control. Those things that you can't control, just being willing to say like, I know, like I can't control the weather, I can't control the politics, I can't control what my health is gonna do right this moment, but here's the things I can control. Here's what I can do with my time. And so just really being realistic about it. What can I do? What can't I do? And yeah, gentle kindness to yourself. You know, I appreciate you guys being
Yeah,
here.
this has been awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Chris.
thank you,
That's
Chris.
great.
That
Thank
was
you for having us.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to drive to Elk Rapids and I might fall asleep.
Oh, no. Okay,
I'm like
disclaimer.
I'm so relaxed right now. I mean,
Okay, you have to do 20 jumping jacks.
Yeah.
yeah, honestly, I'm gonna have to do something.
Burpees right now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We need a stress increase.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
No,
We'll
this
just
was-
say like taxes, April 15th, that should help
I've
everybody.
already done them.
Your
Like,
car's
it's-
right
no.
Dear on the way.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
All right, well, thanks.
That was
guys.
Yeah.
wonderful,
Thank
Chris.
you.
Thank
Good.
you.
Great.
All